Yep. Okay, I think it's starting to record right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of One Plus One, your place for inconvenient truth telling and myth busting. And we are rejoined by frequent guest, our returning champion. You all know him as Alfred Zayas, who is the wonderful professor of international law and international relations at a university in Geneva. He's an independent diplomat. He has been a special rapporteur on special UN assignments in Venezuela and elsewhere. He's a champion of freeing Julian Assange. He's also a brilliant anti-imperialist thinker. He is back on our program, Mr. Zayas. Thank you for coming back on One Plus One.
Thank you for inviting me again.
It's always an honor to have you back on. And the last time we talked, Mr. Zayas, because we're pressed for time, and there are four big topics I want to talk to you about in regards to international relations. And the last time we talked, you were making the case that Catalonia is entitled to self-determination and having a democratic referendum.
And it's entitled to hold a referendum. The decision of whether they have autonomy, federalism, or secession, that lies entirely in the hands of the Catalans. I have nothing to say.
Okay.
If they want to stay in Spain, very well. If they want federalism, very well. If they want secession, very well. And that is the way, not only in Catalonia, but the way that it should function in Scotland, and the way it should function in Kurdistan, and the way it should function in Western Sahara, and in so many other places. As I said, self-determination as a conflict prevention strategy.
Yeah.
Solve the grievances in a timely basis, and you're not going to have a threat or a breach of the local, regional, international peace.
And you've actually met with Carlos with Carlos Puigdemont, who's the leader of one of the Catalan Nationalist Party, a center-right Catalan Nationalist Party. Is there anything you would like you like to explain to me and to an international audience about the times you've met with Carlos Puigdemont and anything else that you want to say last time when we had this discussion on all things Catalonia?
I've been involved in matters of self-determination long before I was an independent expert of the United Nations, and I've written and published on it quite often. So my argument that the realization of self-determination is a conflict prevention strategy is something that I have been trying to advance with diplomats for a very long time. I've tried to explain to them that just look at history, for heaven's sake. Since the Second World War, there have been hundreds of wars, the origin of which was the denial of self-determination. It's not self-determination that triggers the war. It is the unjust denial, therefore. It's not going to go away. The aspiration of peoples to do their thing, the aspiration of peoples to determine their futures, is going to remain. So, having said that, Puigdemont, he invited me for a rather long conversation in the early summer of 2017, when, of course, he was committed to hold a referendum, and he wanted to know the international law aspects of it. And I said, on paper, you have every right to hold a not only Article 1 of the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 19, you are on the right. But self-determination is not self-executing. And what are you going to do if Spain tramples over your rights and the European Union does not protect you? The fact is that the European Union, the European Parliament, the European Commission are very politicized, and I have very little respect for them. As far as commitment to human rights and to human dignity, lip service. That's what they do.
But I actually agree with you on that. Yeah.
They're basically for the status quo. Keep things the way they are. And Puigdemont is rocking the boat. So I told them the constellation right now, I'm talking about summer of 2017, is not conducive to a peaceful referendum. You, of course, and the Catalans are democratic, peace-loving, and you're going to carry out a peaceful referendum. But the Spanish government is not going to let you. The Spanish government is going to bring out the Guardia Civil, is going to beat you up, is going to confiscate the ballot boxes, etc., etc. So you are going to find yourself in a situation of, shall we say, of being provoked to defend yourselves. And then very easily they can accuse you of being violent. Amazingly enough, when on the 1st of October 2017, the referendum was held, and more than 2.5 million Catalans actually voted. It's estimated that maybe as many as 3 million Catalans voted, but the government managed to destroy a considerable number of ballot boxes, etc. So at the end of the day, they didn't have, shall we say, for their electorate, which was an electorate of 4.5 million or something, they didn't reach the number of persons who would have legitimized the exercise. But the government took a very strong position saying that secession is unconstitutional. Well, the fact is that in all constitutions of the world, secession essentially is unconstitutional. So if you want to secede, then you secede by organizing a referendum to find out what people want, and then you sit down, you negotiate. Maybe the government can offer you an autonomy status that satisfies your aspirations for self-determination. That's what they call internal self-determination. But maybe the government is so adamant, and that is the situation in Spain. You see, what people don't understand, Catalonia is rich. Catalonia has a very strong identity, a very profound sense of community, which is not shared, say, in Extremadura or in Andalusia or in León. And besides that, they are the milk cow of Spain. They are far more productive than, say, Andalusia or Extremadura. They're rich, they're industrial, and they don't have fiscal autonomy. So they're sick and tired of paying a lot more to Madrid than ever comes back to them. So that is one of the elements why Spain does not want to let Catalonia out. On the other hand, I said there is a certain momentum in the field of self-determination and in the, shall we say, consciousness in Europe, that there are European regions, not just states, they're regions. There are ethnic groups and minorities, etc., who have a right to do their thing. And that is, shall we say, in the increase. Having said that, I said, why don't you postpone the referendum of the 1st of October? And maybe in 6 months it's going to fall on your lap. Keep it there as a possibility that you will call a referendum. But don't call it right now, because right now the forces of fascism are against you, and they're powerful, and they're going to try to provoke you into violence, etc. 1st of October, there was violence, but only from the Spanish government.
Yeah.
It was violence from the Guardia Civil that beat up old ladies and young women too. I interviewed a man who lost an eye because of rubber bullets that were thrown. I mean, the police was very tough on them, huh? And
yes, even I, who does believe in a unified Spain, and even talking with my Spanish friends, they all said that the response of the ruling Spanish party, the Spanish government at the time was ridiculous, because it only inflamed more the feelings.
Well, it was police brutality in the classical sense. On the other hand, the mainstream media in Europe underplayed it. The same way as the mainstream media in Europe magnifies whatever happens in Belarus in connection with demonstrations against Lukashenko, or whatever happens in Russia because of demonstrations on behalf of Navalny, etc. That makes page 1 of the New York Times and the Washington Post, and it is really rubbed into your consciousness. Can you make a quick thought?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, Ronald.